In today's video, we're gonna go over the 3 best ways to play Mitsurugi and determine together through all pros and cons which is the best way to play Mitsurugi in a long tournament. So for all my Mitsurugi lovers, sup, it's Steve Irvin here. That's my guy!
I want to have the purest oceans. I want to be able to drink water straight out of that creek. I want to stop the ozone layer.
I'm the reptile guy, and I love some crocodiles.
Yay!
Today, I'm going to show you what I believe is the best way to play Mitsurugi. I'm going to show you all 3 ways. I've literally created all 3 of them anyways. Any Mitsurugi deck you've ever seen in the world has come from my back that's been carrying this deck that someone copied or they copied from that copied me. So I'm the granddaddy of this whole deck. So I will now tell you everything about it. And you guys can make your own decisions. We all good Yu-Gi-Oh players here. You all, at least the most of you, you all understand the deck to a specific level. So I will leave the pros and cons for you to allow you to make your own decision. What better fits your play style of what version you'd like to play. We're going to be going over a few of them. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before we do, if you guys really love Mitsurugi, deck explanations like this, or Mitsurugi as a whole, join my masterclass down below where you're going to have 15 hours. There's already 10 hours pre-recorded for you immediately of training on Mitsurugi. For $50, you can access to 15 hours of Mitsurugi training, 10 hours immediately. The other 5 will be live after I win the YCS. Additionally, you're going to be invited to a private Discord server.
Shut up and take my money.
Where you're going to be seeing hundreds and hundreds of replays. And you get access to every deck list I ever enter a YCS with forever. So sign up down below to the Mitsurugi Masterclass. It has been absolutely incredible. Many of my students have already topped regionals with it, and the deck hasn't even been legal for 1 week yet. And many of them have already topped regionals. One of them won a regional. I've been a second at this with a regional, all through this information from the Masterclass. So sign up down below if you guys love reptiles. Without further ado, let's get into this. There's 3 main variants that we're going to discuss, but there'll be many variants. The first version is the Nadir Servant version. Now, whether you're going to be playing Nadir Servant in your Mitsurugi Hand Trap version or your Mitsurugi Board Breaker version, you need to understand the theory behind why you want to play Nadir Servant or why you don't want to play Nadir Servant. If your goal is to top an event, if your goal is to, I want to top regional, I want to top YCS, I want the top YCS. Let's say that's your goal. I want to top YCS Orlando. If you want to top YCS Orlando, play Nadir Servant in your deck. Plain and simple. Play Nadir Servant in your deck. It is an incredible card. Sure, it plays more into Droll and Lockbird. Sure, it plays more into Dweller. Now here's the thing. Your deck already gets hard fucked to Droll. It does. If you're going to play, like, there's no saving it. There's no sugarcoating it. Your opponent needs Droll or they lose, okay? If they have Droll, you already fucking lose. If that Nadir Servant was a Prosperity, or if that Nadir Servant was a fucking Saji, you lose all the same. Nothing changes. But if it's not a Droll that they have in the hand, that not even everybody's even playing, then it is a harder payoff times 1,000. So, yes, it's worse to Droll, worse to Dweller. The reason why Nadir is actually really good if you're just trying to top and not win is because no one blind game 1 Dweller. No one. So if game 1 you don't get Dweller, when you're going second against a rank 4 deck post side deck, when you know it's against a rank 4 deck, you simply side out the Nadir package. I explained this, like, I explained this on my masterclass. I even got a DM from one of my students saying, Trif, thank you for this information in the masterclass. Telling me to side out Nadir Servant against rank 4 decks was a game changer. Because of this, I top 8'd by regional. Thank you. Or I think you won a case. There's so many of the DMs I forgot. I'm sorry for whoever said it. But you simply side it out. So the idea of Dweller is false because you're trying to top the event. Now the reason why I said if you're trying to top the event, it's better to play Nadir. The second you get into top 32, everyone knows what you're playing. Immediately. They know what you're playing, even if you're a nobody. They'll know your opponent will know exactly what you're playing. There's a way to check who you play against when the top 32 gets announced, and then there's a way to figure out which one of your friends you know that dueled that person. And then you just ask your friend, what are they on? Oh, they're on Mitsurugi with Nadir. So when they know you're on Mitsurugi, whether with or without Nadir, they will blind Dweller you if they win the dice roll. So in Top Cut, Nadir Servant is worse in the deck. I am trying to win the YCS. So I don't know if I'm going to take Nadir Servant in my deck or not, because I know that the second I get the top cut, people know I'm Mitsurugi. Fuck, people already know I'm going to be playing Mitsurugi, so I'm going to be getting blind Dweller all day. I want to take Malice to the tournament because people will be Dwellering me blind game 1 because they think I'll be on Mitsurugi. I'm going to big brain them. I might just take Malice, deadass. Or I might not. Anyways, So, because you're gonna get blind dweller in the top cut, Nadir becomes worse in top cut. Pros and cons. That's that simple. If you're trying to top the event, take Nadir. Nadir's a broken card. You don't need the fucking extra deck. You're gonna miss Nadir. Nadir serving is a one card combo. It says search the missing ritual piece and draw 2. You're gonna fucking draw one of the 12 ways to ritual piece in the draw 2. Okay? It's a one card combo basically. You need to play it. And then the trade-off, like, oh, but what if I Nadir and my opponent will send his own Desiree? Who gives a fuck? That just turns on your talents and your thrust. For one, and for secondly, what the hell are they gonna Desiree? Your Maximus? Who gives a shit? You already got your effects. Now let's say you're playing Mitsurugi mirror match, and you Nadir servant, and you resolve Maximus, and you send their own shit. If you know you're playing the mirror match, you go Dweller. If it's blind, you go Dweller with one of your rank 4s, then you Nadir. Okay, through this logic, if you're trying to top the event, you really want your first YCS top, take Nadir servant. It's a broken card. However, if you really just want to win the event, and if like second place is the same to you as last place, don't take Nadir because in top cut they will know specifically what you're playing. Hence Nadir's ass. Side out Nadir, and against every rank 4 deck going second, you just won't get when they dwell you. Who gives a fuck? And you do not need an extra deck. That shit's a myth. The last 4 cards you extra deck are all free. So Nadir servant, play it if you want to top. Don't play it if you really want to win. So that's my version on Nadir servant. Next, what's better, hand trap version or the board breaker version? Now, I just topped the regional. I got second place with Mitsurugi hand trap. I already posted my deck list. The problem with Mitsurugi hand trap is that the deck is prone to bricking. I wouldn't have topped that regional if my opponents didn't really necessarily know everything that Mitsurugi did. If they played perfectly, I was not topping that regional. This is a massive benefit of Mitsurugi. Because Mitsurugi is new, there will be many players. This is one of the reasons you gotta take it for the first few ICSs, is no one will know what the fuck they do. Or at least if they know what they do, they don't really know what they do. Does that make sense? They don't really know. They think, oh, the choke point, Saji. Yeah, ha ha, yay. No, it's not the fucking choke point. That's fucking one. Like, it's such a basic 1 + 1 = 2 kindergarten way of thinking. There's so much intricacies to the deck when you need to stop it that your opponent will never fucking know unless they play it. So, with that being said, when my opponents thought they knew what my deck did, they really had no clue. Because of that, I want to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Every single round. Because this deck's already slightly prone to bricking, because sometimes you need 2 starters instead of 1, then I would much prefer play a board breaker version. I do think the board breaker version is slightly better for now. I think the board breaker version for now is slightly better. The reason why is you want to ritual summon. Even if you're not able to stop your opponent from playing, you could destroy a full Rise Up board without any defensive cards. 1 talent is all you need. Like, you don't need any of them, really. Malice and board is a lot weaker than it was before. You can let Malice full combo and you'll still be able to break it. It's like there's no terror hurts anymore. With no terror hurts, the end board is not like absurdly unbreakable. It's actually like fine. You can still do it. It's not that crazy. So you're still able to do it, and extra time makes it super easy. So I'm trying to put my deck as close to 40 as possible and as every single starter humanly possible for Mitsurugi, because I just want to put my opponent. This is a huge win con. Like, one of the biggest reasons I want to play Mitsurugi. Yeah, it's super broken, but it's so broken that it Murakamo noob checks 99% of Yu-Gi-Oh players. You can carry Murakamo all the way to the promised land just by ritual summoning it. So I want to make sure I can at least play every round, even if I can't stop my opponent from playing. If I have a half chance, like if I have 6 cards in my hand versus a full Malice or full Raizo board, I feel pretty confident knowing that I can thrust for my Nadir anytime I want to ritual summon. I would like to be in the game, if that makes sense. I would like to give myself a fighting chance. With someone of my skill level, or hopefully your guys as well, if your skill level is very high with Mitsurugi, take board breakers. I'm telling you. I know. Let your opponent. It's easier than you think. Trust me, it's easier than you think. If you play perfectly going second, even against a decent player, let them pull Rizzo Fiendsmith combo you. You will kill their board 90% of the time. If you're playing 3 talent, 3 thrust, 3 Fuwalos, then you're siding into every Charmy as well. So it makes it even easier when you have 7 cards. And post side deck, you side out a Nadir for like a 1 Ultimate Slayer and, you know, just more Charmies. And they're going to go out of their way to Dweller you, and you're going to be like, you just break their board, ritual summon and detonator, and like you kill them. So in my opinion, I'm gonna go back to the first thing. If you're a new player and you really want to top, play Nadir Servant in your hand trap version deck. If you really want to win, eventually as time goes on in the tournament, someone might know what you're playing, or locals that might know what you're playing, so they'll blind dweller you. Nadir becomes a lot worse when you get blind dweller. If you're at locals and you want to get blind dweller, Nadir will also be bad. But for a long tournament, Nadir will be broken when they don't know what you're playing, like a regional. Nadir Servant will be broken because no one will know what you're playing, basically. And lastly, for hand trap or board breakers, board breakers are better if you are very good at Yu-Gi-Oh! If you really need help breaking boards, aside from taking the master class, which is obviously the best way to do it, is play hand traps. If you're not very comfortable to break boards, because if you play hand traps, you have to kind of pray to stop them. My issue with hand traps is if I'm playing Mitsurugi and I'm going first, you can open any 3 hand traps if you want. If I open half decent, your 3 hand traps will do jack shit. Unless it's a Charmy, the 3 hand traps do nothing. So since they do nothing, you might as well just play the Charmies and play breakers. It does effectively the same thing, where the only way you lose if you get Charmied, I might as well just Charmy you and play good cards. Having 1 Veiler plus a Charmy is gonna do fucking fuck all. I would prefer to just Charmy you. Like if I have let's say I Charmy you and I have Nibiru, Charmy, Veiler. Alright, you're gonna go Crypt or Pass under my Charmy. What the fuck's my Veiler or my Nibiru gonna do? I just lost 2 cards for nothing. If those 2 cards were ritual cards, and I win now. So that's a theory of my deck of how I'm playing it. I think you should take Nadir Servant. I think you should play Breakers. I think you should play Nadir Servant with Breakers. Post side deck, remove the Nadir Servant, play rank forwards. If you guys are uncomfortable breaking boards, remove the board breakers, play all hand traps. Next thing I want to speak on is, do you need to play Ryzel in your deck? Yes. 100%. Even if you're playing a reptile dominant version, you need to play the Ryzels. The cards that stop reptiles, like Ogdoadic cards, and the cards that stop Mitsurugi are the same cards. Dweller will hurt you so much. Nihilus will hurt you. All these cards will hurt you. Bystials will hurt you. They all hurt the same thing. If you play Ryzel, if you get Dweller, you kind of don't care post side deck because you have the Ryzels. When they're dealing with your graveyard, you don't care too much because you have the Ryzels. You don't care about Nihilus anymore. By playing Ogdoadics, now Nihilus is crazy against your deck. Without the Ogdoadics, you don't care about Nihilus. So you want to make sure with Ryzel it just fits better. Is the Ogdoadic version cooler and more based? 100%. It's way cooler. Are we playing a win here or are we playing a fucking be cool? If we're playing to be cool, we'll be playing a different game. There's nothing cool about Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not gonna lie. If you're playing to play cool, fucking listen to EDM and go to the gym and get jacked like me if you're trying to be cool. If you're trying to win at Yu-Gi-Oh! You gotta be intelligent here. You gotta really think on what your opponent's interactions are against you. So make sure if you're gonna be playing a Ogdoadic or Ryzel, play Ryzel. Even if you still want to play a Ogdoadic, it's fine. Play a minor count like I showed you with 3 Noya, 3 Snake Rain, and then like those 6 are the 1-card combos. Don't play Nunu, play 1 Serpent, 1 Curse. That way, sure, yeah, the deck will be worse than Nihilus, but at least you're not playing all the shitter bricks. Now you have 6 more starters in the deck, and post side deck with a Dweller, you can just side out those bricks. Not bricks, but you can side out all the engine that loses the Dweller. Post side deck, won the Nihilusing you anyways. So that's how it's like a little bit better, where your game 1s are way stronger because you have more starters. So that's something you can do as well. Something else I want to speak on is side decking for Mitsurugi. Now, a lot of people keep in Graziel Cross and keep in Purification. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Going second, you need all of your cards live. If any of my cards do not hit the board, you're fucked. If I draw Graziel Cross, if I draw 3 defensive cards post side deck, and I draw 1 Ice Rising and 1 Saji, you fucking lose. If that Purification that you also put in was like any card that you sided out that could be an extender, like a Bonfire or like a Prayers or whatever you sided out, but because, oh, I wanted to keep it in case I don't draw it, you will lose if you draw a Cross or Purification going second. Going second is already almost impossible to win in this format. You do not want to be drawing cards like Cross or Purification. You almost have no chance. So side out Cross and side out Purification. Side out Ritual Spell to 1 and put Ritual Monsters down to 1 or 2. Because I would prefer to search them essentially, because by itself it does nothing. It doesn't hit the board. It doesn't interact with the opponent. Whether you're charming your opponent or talenting thrusting your opponent, you are not able to have the ability or the luxury to have cards that cannot be used in your hand. Side out all those ugly cards. Side out any non-guaranteeing way to put this up. If it's not a defensive card or a starter, with the exception of maybe Node or Kusanagi, get the fuck out of my deck. Every single one of them. All of them. Period. The same goes for Fiendsmith and Paradise if you're playing Fiendsmith. Take that shit out going second. You don't need it for the kickback, okay? You need to stop your opponent and you need to establish your own board, okay? I'm glad we could get that aside. You need to just stop your opponent's board. They're going to have so many interruptions. You simply just have to. And every single time you go second and open your eyes across or open your Purification, you're going to be looking back at this video at whatever time frame this is and be like, fuck, Trif is right. The difference between us guys is I played 1,000 matches already. Like more last format. I don't think he has to stand up like 12 hours a day. Okay, 7 days a week. Literally, I have no life. This is my job. Okay, you will be upset when you draw the cards. Even in Malice, I would side out 2 traps, bro. I would side out every card that's dead. You need to stop your opponent from playing. That like it's seriously, you need to stop your opponent. Or if you're on breakers, you need to draw your breakers or your starters. I'm not trying to draw cards that cannot hit themselves on field. The ritual spell and monster need another card to play. That doesn't actually do anything to the field unless you draw 2 of them. I would much prefer to search it. For example, if I'm playing against Malice, I'm keeping my Nadirs in undoubtedly because Nadir puts itself on board, forces interactions. It's a half breaker. It can Entez could pop something. Like I'm keeping as many of my shit as possible that could hit itself, and Nadir could always search my ritual spell. Okay, another tip I like to bring up against Malice. You actually need to, specifically against Malice, you need to play 2 ritual spell. The reason why is you need to play around Dominus Impulse. Many times against Malice, you're gonna use you need to assume they have Impulse. You need to almost search if possible. Like imagine your one ritual. Like don't combo, and have your last card be, alright, I drop my ritual spell. And then it's gonna get Impulse, and you're gonna be stuck with a monster in your hand and fuck all on the field and cry. Try to predetermine and pre-game plan how you could get 2 ritual spells to hand in case they Impulse. Or if they do Impulse it, what's your backup plan to still be able to ritual summon? You could, through Impulse, you can ritual 1 from hand, 1 from deck, so you're still able to ritual summon. You need to ritual summon every game. I cannot stress it enough, so play that. A lot of people play it not well, due to that reason. Something else I'd like to mention. Reptilian Echidna. If you're playing the hand trap version, you must be putting Reptilian Echidna in the extra deck, no matter what. Find space if you're playing the hand trap version. When a Nibiru hits the board, when a Bestial Magnum your Bestial Magnum hits the board, and you have a Saji, it turns Saji into 1-card combo. You can normal Saji, search ritual spell, make Echidna with Nib and the Saji, and you now have a 1-card Saji full ritual summon combo. Whew, I think I've mentioned a lot of things. As far as the best version of the deck, as I mentioned, it is the board breaker version with Nadir Servant. I tried to explain here whether you should play Nadir Servant or not, whether you should play hand traps or board breakers, whether you should play Rizar or Dogdick. I felt I tried to get through all of them in a short video as humanly possible, and the siding patterns of keeping Purification and Cross. Are you trying to win the game or are you trying to lose the game? You're trying to win the fucking game. Purification in your hand going second will not win you the game. Alright? Please, if I see Purification and Cross going second again in one of these decks, I'm gonna have a bad time. I'm gonna be pissed off. Join the Mitsurugi Masterclass and learn a lot more. There's so many things I like to say, but I just don't want to say everything. I prefer you guys to just see it in the class as well. Siding patterns is a big reason of the difference of winning and losing. One more thing, if you're playing the hand trap version, do not main deck Purification. The hand trap version already bricks as it is. Also, do not play Night Sword Serpent. Bro, oh my god, Night Sword Serpent sucks. Okay, the deck already bricks. The deck already bricks. What are you doing throwing Serpent in there? What are you doing throwing Purification in there? If you're playing hand traps, you don't need Purification. You're gonna have 2 hand traps in your hand. You're gonna have Detonator. You're gonna have Cross. You're gonna have a Dweller. You're gonna have Futsu. You're gonna have Murakamo. You're gonna have Regeki. You're gonna have a discard. You're gonna have Prayers. They're probably gonna be on 4 or 5 cards because they hand trapped you. What in the fuck do you need on top of the Omni Negate for? It's a brick. It's a brick. I didn't even play Reframing in my Vanadium deck when I top forward. You don't need that shit, okay? It's a trap card. It's 2025. Remove your trap cards unless it's impermanence. Side deck Purification going first when you know you're going first. Even then, you don't fucking need it, okay? Post side deck, maybe they'll be on breakers, you might want it. But do not main it if you're playing hand traps. If you're playing breakers, you do need to main deck Purification because there's no hand traps on top to protect you. Your hand board's weaker without the hand traps. Alright. Thank you guys for watching the video. I mentioned a bunch of tips here and the best ways to play Mitsurugi. To recap everything, the best way to play Mitsurugi, in my opinion, is with Nadir Servant in your deck. Max out every way to ritual summon. Play board breakers, like 3 talent, 3 thrust, because they count as combo cards. They can always search through your pieces you need to the ritual summon. 3 Fuwa, maybe like an imprint. Close to 40, make sure you ritual summon. Post side against rank 4 decks, side out your Nadir Servant package so Dweller doesn't hurt you. And if your opponent drolls you, they droll you. Fuck, you lose. Okay, fuck, what could you do? Droll is crazy against this deck, nothing you can do about it. And the Dogdick version rises way better than the Dogdick version because of Nihilus and Dweller. However, the Dogdick version is still very powerful, but if you do play it, remove the shitter bricks, combine Rising and Dogdick together if you want to play the Dogdick version. That's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching the video. Join the Mitsurugi Masterclass down below. 15 hours of training. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!